everybody. I'm absolutely delighted today to be joined by Juliana Villegas. Hopefully I pronounced that okay, Juliana. And Juliana is joining us from Bogota in Colombia and is Exports Vice President at ProColombia. So welcome. So we've got to be quite honest as we kick off that Colombia is probably not the most well-recognized delivery destination. So I wonder if you can give us a little bit of an overview of Colombia and where that actually fits on the global stage for technology and business services delivery.
Hello, Carrie. Thank you so much for having us here. You did pronounce my name in an excellent Spanish. Thank you for that, and congratulations. Yeah, I think from ProColombia is a real pride to talk about how Colombia can be very strong in this sector. I would say that Colombia is recognized for being a hub for BPO services in Latin America, and is one of the most mature industries in the region. Colombia has the third largest market in the region after Brazil, after Mexico, and that really allows the supply to grow. We have some data from the Offshore BPO Confidence Index, where they consider Colombia one of the most important destinations for the development of BPO operations in the world, many due to the country's technological and connectivity infrastructure, the career opportunities, the talent development, and the reliability, of the public sector, hiring and staffing, and economic stability. So I would end this part, I would say, of the conversation, saying that our location, Colombia's location, makes it a great opportunity, a great option for, let's say, UK companies that are interested in serving the US, for example, or other countries in the Americas. We are in the middle of 5 time zones, and that really facilitates business with important economic centers such as New York, Toronto, or Miami. So I would talk about that in the main introduction, and then we have some figures also with exports, foreign direct investment. So yeah, thank you very much for this chance.
Okay, so you were saying there that it's for UK companies that might want to be serving the Americas, but are you doing anything with the UK market directly for delivery?
Yes, of course. And I think we have a great partner there, and we've been growing with the UK market too, because we're not very well known, and we see that as a great opportunity. So the UK has a long-term relationship with Colombia, a long-standing relationship with us. These two nations have been diplomatic partners for more than 200 years. Colombia and the UK are continuing to develop a broader and deeper relationship with stronger links. In 2019, we signed a post-Brexit trade agreement trying to ensure continuity and tariff preferences for Colombian goods and services. We're seeing growing interest from UK companies, and also growth in exports to the market from companies that have established in Colombia. We have one of those, which is CITEL, or CITEL.
Yeah, we know it's a
Last year, we had total exports of this sector to the UK that had been reported to ProColombia for an amount of almost $7 million US dollars. From January to October, these exports have amounted to $10.3 million. So I think the the good thing with the UK is that we are growing together, is a long-term relationship, and we see huge opportunities in the years to come.
Right, fantastic. So, so the whole world of technology and business services delivery, you know, that's seen as a great career, isn't it, in Colombia? I wonder if you can talk us through a little bit about the skills and talent availability you have, because obviously here in the UK, and I know it's the same in the US, we're suffering from a real severe talent crisis and have very limited access to enough skilled resources across technology and business services.
Sure. I think that's part of why our exports and our foreign direct investment have been growing this much throughout the years. If we see only the exports, we've grown more than 18% in the last 5 years, our exports only. And when we talk about foreign direct investment, in the last 5 years, we've had more than 80 BPO operation projects that have arrived in Colombia. And that's very closely related to the talent and the kind of population we have in Colombia. We are the third most populated country in Latin America. We have more than 50 million inhabitants and multiple cities with more than 500,000 inhabitants. And that really allows companies to carry out their operation in different regions. We also have a young country. We have young population in Colombia. 32% of our population is between 20 and 39 years old. Colombia ranked third in Latin America in the IMD World Talent Ranking 2021 for its availability of skilled labor. That's huge. That's very important, especially in this sector. And the BPO sector is one of the largest employment generators in the country. Last year, we had 700,000 employees working in this sector. Colombia's top strengths are offering a variety of training alternatives to employees and providing different learning models for their development. That's also very important. Not only having this talent and the skills you were born with, but also how you develop them and how you train your people. And according to different agencies, we have local agencies, for example, in Bogota, we have more than 1.3 million people with English skills, which is also required in the sector. So in this, the national government has also a very important priority through the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Tourism to support this kind of exports, because we know that it has a very positive social impact in different communities, in young people, women, of course, and around the country.
Okay, so I mean, your English is absolutely perfect. Is this the sort of level of English we could actually expect these 1.3 million people that are learning English to be able to speak at, or are you fairly exceptional there?
Well, Carrie, thank you for being so generous. I would like to speak English as you were speaking Spanish some minutes ago, and thank you for that. I think that what I want to highlight there is that you will never be, let's say, completely proficient in a foreign language. You have to work on that on a daily basis. And that's what Colombia has been doing for the last decade, maybe, because we know it's a priority. So you can find more than 1 million people with English skills, but we know that we have to strengthen that. It's not enough because the industry is asking for that. And you know also that English is the language for business. So if you want to make Colombia an international platform, you really have to work on that. So from the Ministry of Education, of Commerce, the national government, all these agencies public and private, are working together in order to build up this kind of population that can work on Colombians' internationalization. So it's not enough. I think we have great talent, amazing creativity, the greatest service you would find, I would say, around the world, but at least in the Americas. Um, and you have to keep on working on that. Not only in the language skills, because we have French speaking, Portuguese speaking, especially for a boutique service we're providing, but also in the technological kind of language, we are still working on it, because in this world of outsourcing, technology is really important. So our kids need to know that that's where you find job opportunities at the moment, and in the, maybe in next years that's also going to happen. So you can't stop working on it. So yeah, that's a priority for the national government. We already have a strong foundation, let's say, for companies coming to Colombia and using Colombia as an export platform of our services. But that training, that talent development also comes with the language.
So at the moment, ESG is probably after talent, sort of like the biggest issue and corporate agenda that we're talking to. So how does Colombia sort of like fit with sustainability? What's your program?
Yeah, thank you for that answer, but for that question, sorry, because my answer would maybe complement a bit the one I was sharing with you before. It is one of the top priorities of Colombia at the moment. Sustainability is a non-negotiable, I would say. Um, we have been ranked 21st in the Earth.org Global Sustainability Index, and the first one for energy. And we are working really hard, seeing that Colombian companies are committed to sustainability. They're focused on social impact, on different social elements. We have a national group called GNP. That's a call center. It's more than 20 years old in Colombia, and they have a social commitment and providing opportunities for professional growth. We talked about that some minutes ago. They are the champions in the first job initiative. So that's part of the programs we have in place in Colombia. And this kind of initiative tries to minimize the gap in the workplace for young people who lack work experience. That first step in the working life is very demanding. It's not easy at all, because you need to build that trust with the ones that hire you. So from their more than 1,500 people working there, 35% are part of the initiative, 20% are women from those female population headed households, and 45% are people between 25 and 55 years old. We have another example, Kerry, which is Teleperformance. It's a French BPO supplier, which is installed in Colombia. And they have a very interesting operation. They have more than 40,000 employees. And they have a program called Hands On with 12,000 volunteers. They donate time and knowledge, and they implement 43 initiatives on the 5 pillars. I know you're going to like these 5 pillars. And they are aligned with the 17 Sustainable Development Objectives of the UN. And these 5 pillars are quality education, climate action, economic growth and fair job conditions, health and well-being, and diversity and inclusion. So I think everything's there, that social impact, environmental impact, and economic impact. You need to generate income for your society. They are there, and that's why ProColombia is working hand in hand with them and supporting their internationalization.
Right, that's fantastic. And actually, I was actually in the US a couple of weeks back, and at an impact sourcing conference, and the discussion was very much about how Colombia has taken in so many Venezuelan refugees and given them opportunities to work, which again plays very strongly towards, you know, the social agenda. So well done, you guys, for doing that. Wonderful. So in addition to, you know, what I've learned already today, what else do you think, you know, most people have misconceptions, is that the word? Yeah, misconceptions about Colombia. So I had no idea that you were so good on the sustainability side, on the impact sourcing side, and that you were, you know, a really serious player in this industry. So what else are you going to surprise me with?
Thanks for that chance you give us, Carrie. Thank you very much. Because there are many things that people don't know about Colombia. You know, we are the most welcoming place on earth, first of all. If you haven't been here, we're so happy to have you here, to welcome you. We have many stories about how warm Colombians are when welcoming others. If you're from another region of Colombia, or if you come from another country, we're so happy to have everybody coming here and knowing all these amazing things we have around nature, industry, and especially people. If we mention some of the strengths we have in Colombia, I have to talk about the economy. Our GDP grew more than 9% between January and September. And, you know, in this context, in this international context, that's something really important. We grew more than Spain, Sweden, Italy, Belgium, South Korea, even the US. And we've had, you know, that follow up from the IMF, from the World Bank, and they have very interesting forecastings for next year. We might grow around 2% in 2023. And our BPO and our KPO industry could account for 3.5% of our country's GDP. We have around 26 international BPO, well-known, which are also multinationals that are in Colombia, already installed in our country, because we have that great talent I was talking about, that amazing service we can deliver to our clients in the US, in Spain. Some of the Caribbean islands also count and rely on Colombia, and in general in the Latin American region. We have more than 1.3 million people fluent in English, as we were saying before, and other facts that are related to the potential we have as sourcing partners. We're not only suppliers, not only service providers. We want to be an ally. We want to be a sourcing partner in the Latin American region. We have different misconceptions, of course, around the world, and that's why ProColombia enjoys talking about Colombia and that amazing powerhouse we are in different topics. Sometimes people think that we don't have enough industry, our quality is not good enough. Not only talking about language, but sometimes people think that we're only coffee suppliers or flower suppliers or bananas providers. But those are amazing ambassador products that have great messages from our communities, our regions. But after that, there's a huge amount of stories and great industries coming after to show the world what Colombia has to offer. So that's why in ProColombia we really enjoy, especially when people know a little bit about us or nothing at all, or have maybe the wrong ideas. So that's good to talk about the great country we are. Of course, with a lot of things to work on. We have to fill in some gaps for sure, as any other country. But the good news here is that we're working on it really, really hard and with amazing commitment.
So it sounds like it's a phenomenal time. You're going to welcome anybody that is interested, but what additional services particularly can ProColombia provide anybody that's actually interested in looking at Colombia as a destination?
Thank you, Carrie, for that question, because we also feel very proud to work in an agency. We're part of the government, but we try to take the best of both worlds, the best of the private world and the best of the public world, and bring it together so that we can deliver an amazing service to the Colombian companies. All these entrepreneurs, already mature companies, but also students interested in knowing better all this amazing impact that internationalization can cause around them. So we are a government entity. We are in charge of promoting international tourism, foreign direct investment, and non-mining exports. We are also in charge of the country brand, Colombia. We are part of the Ministry of Commerce, Industry, and Tourism. And we have a national and international network. You have an office in London, for example, an amazing team working from the UK to promote Colombia. And you have also a very robust team working from Colombia with the Colombian companies. We are also identifying every day of our lives business opportunities for our companies in the three topics I mentioned before. That office in London supports the buyers, because especially now they're working on reducing that risk, diversifying the chances of suppliers, because after all these global chains have been broken, especially during the pandemic, Colombia is at the moment very important because we can deliver faster. All that post-sale services are very important. Quality is very good in Colombia. So we are looking to match the needs of these international buyers. And we work very close to different private organizations, such as BPRO. It's a Colombia's BPO association. And we have different events, different activities related to promoting this kind of export or this kind of foreign direct investment, even tourism. You have different congresses, events, incentive trips made in Colombia related to the BPO sector. Our next event, for example, Kerry, will take place in Barranquilla, Colombia. I would love you to go there and see. That's part of our Caribbean coast. Barranquilla is a rather big city compared to other cities in Colombia. We will have there around 1,000 international buyers of goods and services meeting in one place with around 2,000 exporters from all around the country. So that's one of the big events we have in a year. But the good thing about ProColombia is how you customize your services depending on your client. So it doesn't matter if you're a big or a small company. It doesn't matter if you have been exporting for 100 years or you're just going to start. ProColombia is your best ally for doing great, for doing it in a good way, in a sustainable way, thinking about the community around you, and how that positive impact goes also to them.
Fantastic. Right. Well, I've learned a lot about Colombia, and I'm absolutely delighted to be able to share that with everybody and put Colombia on the map. Is there any passing final comment that you'd like to make, Juliana?
Well, I would love to invite everybody, not only to see our amazing country, but to also work with us, developing this great sector, bringing all these good things to our society through business, in a very good way, and exporting these services. We can also tell Colombian stories, and how our people work very hard every day, to be a better place, to be a better country. So I would like to thank you, Carrie, really, for having us, for spending this time talking about Colombia. And you can count on us. That's also an invitation, not only to international buyers, but also to Colombian exporters. We want to be part of your team. That's how we work. And I'm sure, Carrie, that we'll meet another day. And please also count on ProColombia if you need any other information. And we talk about it, of course, in any other occasion. So thank you so much for that.
Well, no, thank you. It's been a complete pleasure, and I really look forward to watching, the rise of Colombia in our industry. So, muchas gracias por todo.
Muchas gracias a ti, Carrie. Gracias por todo.
All right. See you soon. Thank you so much.
See you. Take care. Thank you so much.